My sugar daddy passed away and his wife won't leave me alone. We have some true stories with a lot of red flags. Okay, so I don't really know how to work this app, so bear with me. I, 19 female, had a 75 male sugar daddy. He passed away in April and he did not tell me that he had a wife. Context, we met a year ago and he has paid me a little more than $700 a week. Y'all, this will always shock me when I hear about these kind of stories. That's a job. That's an income. We did not have any sort of sexual contact, and I would say in all, we probably saw each other in person about a handful of times. In our beginning stages of talking, he told me that he had no kids and that his wife passed away when she was 30 in a drunk driving accident, which now is a lie. So my sugar daddy told me that he was in the hospital because he was having heart palpitations, and after that, he went ghost. At first, I didn't think anything of it, but then a week went past and he was not responding to any of my calls and texts. Then I got a text from a number saying, quote, "This is blank's wife." She was calling me slurs that I can't say, but you can guess, and literally every insult in the book. I told her I didn't know he was married still, and he told me that she passed away, and then she proceeded to call me a liar. I blocked her after that. 2 days later, there was a dead mouse left in my mailbox. I didn't link this to my situation with his wife. But then a day later, I got a text from a random number saying, quote, "I hope you get the message, home wrecking biatch." And then she basically said that I was the rat in their life and I am the reason why they were struggling with money. Just when you think you've read it all. I am assuming she got my address from his messages. I blocked the number and she will not stop calling me from other fake numbers and sending me threatening messages. I filed a police report, but they basically said they can't do anything because she lives in another state and there is no proof that it's actually her. What do I do? Edit, to all of you other people, I have a job, but I also have 2 toddler siblings that I have to provide for. So yes, I was happily taking his money. Also, me and him were what I thought to be close, and I actually really did enjoy his company and our talks. I wasn't just in it for the money. We did have a bond a bit. Also, I am going to start documenting as much as I can. I did just get a new phone, and none of her previous threatening messages were saved because I didn't back up my old phone, sadly. But I do have the many calls I have been receiving from her, so hopefully that helps. We have the final update, which came 4 days later. So I bought cameras. I tried talking to the police again because they did nothing. I changed my number and I looked into lawyering up. I also did a lot of digging through my sugar daddy's Facebook. We can call him Ronald for the sake of this. I did not see anyone on his page that looked like they would be his wife, but I did find his niece. Man, they just have to vacuum my hallway right now, don't they? If you hear vacuuming in the hallway, my apologies. I did not see anyone on his page that looked like they could be his wife, but I did find his niece and I will call her Anna. I know this may sound dumb, but I did text her and basically explain to her my situation with Ronald's wife and me and Ronald's relationship, hoping that she could shed some light on my situation, and boy, she did. I'm not going to be sharing everything she told me, so this post isn't traced back to any of those involved. Ronald and his wife, I'll call her Ashley, have been divorced for 8 years. Oh, plot twist. Jealous ex-wife. Ashley is mentally unstable. Then that's not funny. And was stalking and harassing Ronald while they were divorced, causing him to get restraining orders on her and calling the cops on her so many times. They did in fact have a child together, but their child passed away when they were in their 30s in a car accident, and Ashley was the one driving. Anna's family highly assumed that Ashley was high on substances because she was addicted to everything under the sun, and that is why she crashed in the first place. Ashley has been an addict for a very long time, and she was extremely mentally and physically harmful towards Ronald. She would also drain their accounts on insane amounts of substances. She names them all, but I can't say them. But all of them. When Ronald went to the hospital, somehow Ashley found out that he was there, and we think that is when she took his phone, because Anna said that when she got to the hospital, a nurse asked her if Ronald's wife would be coming back. Since I changed my phone number, I haven't heard a word from her, and I haven't seen any strange activity at my home, thank God. I do feel really bad for being so mad at Ronald for lying to me, but now I know the truth and I can understand why he did lie about some things in his past. I miss talking to him a lot, and Anna told me that Ronald told her mom a couple months before his passing that he had been talking to a lady that made him happy. So I'm just glad he got some sort of joy out of the short time we had together. I do miss him dearly. I'm going to answer some questions and crazy statements that I've seen in the comments. Yes, I have a job. What led me to look for a sugar daddy in the first place is that my dad and his wife chose to completely not provide for my 2 toddler siblings. I have to pay for the clothes on their backs and the food in their stomach. I also pay well over $1,000 in daycare fees just so I can have the peace of mind that they are being fed while I'm at work. No, Ronald and I didn't have any kind of sexual contact, and he never asked me for any favors, spicy ones. As crazy as it sounds, I think we really just did have a connection and that he was just lonely. We talked so much and we called every night. Also, he was willing to give me so much money because he was very well off and sympathized with my situation. By the way, I never asked him for that much money. He would just always send it. Oh, I think the whole concept of a sugar daddy or sugar mommy, that is very controversial. So let's chat about it in the comments. Next story. My fiance threw a glass at my head because he got mad about a football player's number. I just got the biggest ick of my life. I can't listen. Forget it. I'm going to say something that's not nice. Be nice. Be nice. Read the story and shut your mouth. I don't even know what to do right now. Yesterday, my fiance threw a glass at my head. It was a beer glass, so it was really heavy, and it made a dent in the wall and broke, and there was glass all over the place. He said he was sorry, and I just said it's fine because I was so freaked out. He's never done anything like this or put his hands on me before, but I was scared. What if it hit you? Of course you were scared. I would be too. I don't even know why he was mad. He was upset about football. He was mad because of the jersey number of the new player on his team. I don't watch football and I had no idea why a player's number was such a big deal. I know he is excited about this player joining the team, but I don't get what the problem with the number is. He just screamed at me and threw the glass just because I asked a question. There was glass all over and a piece nicked my leg a little. It's a small nick, and he said he was sorry later, but it freaked me out. I'm at work right now and I can't stop thinking about it. I didn't sleep. I only stayed here in Texas after I graduated because he was from here. But since yesterday, I've been thinking about going back to my home state. My confession is that I don't even want to marry him anymore. Don't blame ya. If you're gonna throw a glass at my head over a football jersey number, I don't want to know what you would do when there's actually something to be mad at. No thanks. I've seen all I need to see. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank God we have a final update that came 2 months later. Personally, selfishly, I hope she ran for the hills. My update is that I have moved out and my relationship with him is over. I wanted to post again mainly to thank everyone for all the love and support that I received in the comments. It wasn't just a small thing. I really needed them after what happened, so I appreciate you all. If anyone sent me a private message to show support, I apologize for not replying. My messages ended up being full of people telling me that he was right to be upset about the number and that I overreacted or deserved it. I'm gonna throw up.
I'm throwing up. You're making me throw up.
I can only guess the type of people that those messages came from. How scary the world we live in. Terrifying. Okay, stay calm.
I need to calm down.
I just stopped reading my messages and deleted all of them. When I told him I was leaving, he acted like he was in shock. I had already packed some things and I sent them back home. While I was packing the rest of my clothes, he kept saying that he didn't understand. He cried when I left and I didn't say where I was going. I went back to my home state and I'm now living with my family. I'm working on getting a nursing license in this state so I can find a job. My family has been great. They gave me money so I could pay the rent for the last 2 months of the lease, so my ex-fiance couldn't say I abandoned the lease. I'm very grateful. I have no plans to go back. I don't even have a way to contact him because I have a new phone number and email, and it's probably better that way. I knew there was no way to put the genie back in the bottle after what he did. Yeah, nope. Because I would never feel safe ever again. You would always wonder and be on eggshells of like, is that going to happen again? And what if it hit me? No thanks. I'm not living like that. Over football. I need to take a spin. A spin of positivity. Let it go. Shake it off. It's gone. A spin of positivity. I feel better. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not putting my boobie? I don't even know if I can say that. Away when I answered the door. I'm a single mom with an 18-month-old and a 3-week-old. Whoa! 18-month-old and a 3-week-old? Bless you. Oh, you're a hero. An absolute hero. I don't know how y'all do it with ones that close together. Woo! Women are just incredible. The oldest is feeding up to 5 or 6 times a day, and the baby is feeding every 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more often. Basically, my yabos are no longer my property, and wearing anything that makes it difficult to pull them out at a moment's notice is not an option. So, no bra and very loose tank tops are my life. Now to the issue. My toddler has been sick, and so I'm very tired. I was feeding the baby when there was a knock at my door. I had been expecting my friend over, so I didn't think twice about opening it with my breast out, looking like a hot mess. Sadly, it was not my friend, and instead my ex-mother and sister-in-law. Sister-in-law gasped and made a whole deal of turning away, whereas her mom looked displeased. Of course, the toddler decides that this is the optimal time to start crying, which disrupts an already upset baby, who stops latching, and thus my nipple is on show to the world. I tried to avoid breastfeeding my toddler in front of them, but he was not having it. So it was essentially just me walking them back out and locking the door so I could feed them both in peace. For some reason, they didn't leave, and when my friend showed up, they walked in with her. My friend has a spare key. I don't know why I thought she was at the door in the first place. I handed the baby off because he was done, but I realized the toddler wouldn't be done for a while, so I succumbed to my fate. Sister-in-law was still looking very uncomfortable, and I was expecting some form of judgment for still feeding my son, which I got. Can always count on the mother-in-law. After she finished, I hoped she would just leave, but she made a rather appalling comment of, quote, "No wonder X left you when you're hooring yourself around like that. Anyone could have been at the door and you're off swinging your yabos about." You know, you would think of all people, a woman with a daughter would understand. You know, you would think. I, at this point, broke down crying. My friend, who was upstairs putting the baby down, thankfully takes charge of the situation, get rid of them, convinced the toddler to go into his bed, and then we watched movies and ate ice cream until the baby woke up. I sort of hoped that would be the end of it, but I opened up my phone to an array of messages from my ex, my own parents, and the other sister-in-law. They're essentially slut-shaming me for feeding my baby, saying that anyone could have seen me, maybe someone's kid who doesn't need to see that, even going as far to say that I could have distracted drivers and caused a crash. What is going on? I'm starting to really doubt myself, and so my friend guided me here. She's insisting I'm not in the wrong and seems to think you guys will agree. And if you do, I plan on showing the comments to my ex and his family. So, am I the a-hole for not putting my breast away before answering the door? I'm going on to the update. I can't handle this. I'm so violently annoyed. The final update came 11 days later. Reddit, please tell me you're on the right side of it, please. So it's been a little bit since my last post, and I'm just here to say a huge thanks to all the comments. That's what I like to say. A lot of you guys really helped me realize where I needed help. Shortly after my post was made, I contacted my ex and essentially asked if he wanted to actually play a part with our kids or not. He said he didn't want to. We had a long conversation about our feelings. We are on good terms now, and he's starting a new job in August, so we'll deal with everything legally then for ease's sake. I set up my Ring doorbell camera, and now I'm much more careful with who I answer the door to. I also contacted my parents one final time to let them know I'm no longer having contact with them, and I let them have one photo of my boys. They took it very well, considering it all. I did have to take the step to cut my siblings off as well, but as much as I love them, I need to prioritize myself and my babies. I met up with my ex's family to let them know that if they ever set foot in my house again, I would call the police, and I told them they won't ever have contact with my children. As far as I and my ex are concerned, they don't have a father and thus have no paternal family. They were upset, but they let it go. And I breastfed both my kids in the park just to spite them, which actually felt quite good. In better news, the friend I mentioned in my last post is moving in with us. Initially, it was for financial reasons, but a little something is sort of happening between us. What? And even if that fizzles out, I feel safer with a second person. My kids have financial stability and a second parent, which I think all kids deserve. After everything legal is settled, we're planning to move out of state. We are both saving separately for a house, and my ex wound up giving me most of the funds that we had saved. He is inheriting his father's house and doesn't want for me and the kids to constantly be at risk of eviction. With both sets of savings, in a year or so, we should be able to move into a decently sized house. We are already planning on getting a dog. The plan is to be moved and settled by July 22nd so the boys can have their first proper summer in a yard that's big enough to play in. My kids will have a better life than I had, and this is just the start of how perfect it's going to be. So that's it. Thank God. Truly. It's such a shame that you literally lost your family over breastfeeding your child. That will never make sense to me. My brain can't comprehend that. In your own home. All aboard the hydration station, because I freaking need it, all right? Honestly, I need a stronger drink after some of these stories, but we're gonna hydrate. Cheers. Hope you're having a good day. It's merch day! If you guys missed the news yesterday, the new merch collection is officially live. As of today, I had to work out some back-end stuff on the website. So the website is now jossbedard.ca, not jossbedard.com. It is linked in the video description of every single video, so you don't have to go far. I'm very excited. I hope you guys like the designs. They are very much us. Everything was curated very me, but also very Sasquatch. I've been reading the comments and taking it in. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. I'm always here for the feedback and the chit chat, and I hope you guys like it. Next story. My husband is suddenly angry all the time and wants to fire a random woman. How do I talk to him? Are these two statements correlated? My husband is very stressed all the time. Ever since we met, he, 45, told me, 43, career and growing in his career is the most important thing for him. He is an engineer and currently is responsible for a company of more than 600 people. Even if locally no one is above him, he still has to report results to the headquarters regularly. He is very tough, strict, and even though I do not understand a lot of what they are doing, I feel like he pushes people over their limits. He promises the HQ he will reach every goal, live up to every standard. He overworks himself and his people. Micromanages, controls, shouts, threatens, but I try to separate his work persona from his home persona, and we get along very well. We jog together, swim together, and various other sports. He never yells at me, never talks down to me, but this changed in the beginning of June. He got frustrated at every little thing at home too. Out of nowhere, he called a woman a subordinate, but now his direct one. A woman who, he would tell me later, works at their marketing department. She is 24. He wants to fire her. He offers her a few salaries just so she leaves. I never saw him invest this much into any employee. He's not the kind of executive who is close with people, who actually talks to them. He is up there and they are down. He has his close inner group. I asked him why he was so invested, and he said that she is not a good performer and he wants her out. I never saw him talking to one of the people at the bottom of the hierarchy. This woman randomly just called him. Didn't even text. She just called him. Something that is frowned upon in any corporate setting. I heard parts of their conversation. He was yelling and getting frustrated, and she was calm, sarcastic, and was like, "And what will you do about it?" I know him, and not only him, I am familiar with the corporate world. A top director never talks one-to-one with a random, irrelevant employee. And she was so casual with him. He started raising his voice at me too, and is not interested in anything anymore. I am concerned and I want to talk to him about it, but I'm scared of what might come out of it. How do I do it? He is always irritated. You just do it, because something's going on here. The sirens, in my mind, red flags are going off. There's something going on between them. We have a first mini update. So this was quick. This post is an update to my post from yesterday. I was pushing it and pressuring him. He left for a couple hours and then came back very calm and told me in a calm voice, like he has given up, that he got her pregnant. That's not what I just thought that they were having an affair. I was not thinking that was about to happen. And she doesn't want to terminate. She doesn't want to resign, and he cannot fire her because she is pregnant. Oh boy, that's the whole update. But luckily we have the final update. Final update. I wanted to share one last update. I moved out. We had another property and I simply couldn't stand him being around me. I decided not to report it to HR. That future baby is already having more than enough issues, and 2 jobless parents sounds like a nightmare. Probably this will happen anyway, but I will not be the cause of it. As for him, he is already getting his karma. I told him I will not report him, so he needs to make sure that she will not either. She wants him to marry her, and he said he will, and he told me that she also wants him to pay for her mother's medical bills. She was raised in the system, but it seems like she does have family after all, and they are just poor. She is also getting her karma too. He already is violent with her. Oh, great. So he's just all around a POS. Between work, home, the affair, everything. He sounds like not a delight at all. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend I don't want his cousin anywhere near our relationship anymore? I, 26 female, have been with my boyfriend, 28 male, for a few years. His cousin, I'll call her Kay, always seemed nice enough whenever we would talk. We weren't close or anything, but every time we saw each other, she would act really sweet and even tell me how happy she was that my boyfriend had found someone who made him happy. So I never had a reason to think that she disliked me. Earlier this year, my boyfriend and I were going through a rough patch, and without telling me, he started venting to Kay about our relationship. Around the same time, I had to travel for work for a few days. One evening, I posted a few pictures on Facebook from dinner with coworkers, and she immediately messaged me asking if I was out looking for my next boyfriend. I thought she was joking until she kept going. She started calling me selfish, saying I cared more about my career than my relationship, that I was a terrible future wife, and that my boyfriend deserved someone loyal. Then she sent a voice message saying if I ever broke his heart, she would make sure I regretted it. It honestly freaked me out enough that I blocked her right away. When I showed everything to my boyfriend, he admitted that he had been telling her about our problems. What upset me even more was how little he reacted to what she had sent me. He kept saying that she was probably just being protective and didn't mean it like that. After a lot of arguing, he finally blocked her, but it felt more like he was doing it because I wouldn't let it go, more than because he actually thought her behavior was unacceptable. Fast forward a few months, and she recently reached out to him again from another number, asking if we were still together and saying she hoped that he was finally happy. He ignored the message, but never blocked the number. I told him that after everything she said and the way she threatened me, I wasn't comfortable with her having any access to our lives anymore. He thinks I'm making too big of a deal out of it and says ignoring her is enough. I don't agree. To me, someone who crosses those kinds of boundaries once will probably do it again. So am I the a-hole for asking him to completely cut contact with her? We have an update. 2 days after my post, his older sister messaged me out of nowhere. I've met her maybe 3 times total, so I wasn't expecting to hear from her at all, let alone about this. She said she saw my boyfriend mention the situation in a family group chat and wanted to talk to me directly because, quote, someone someone should have told you this a long time ago. She told me that Kay did basically the same thing to my boyfriend's ex before me. Same pattern. Sweet to her face, then messages accusing her of not caring enough about him. When it escalated to Kay showing up to her job uninvited to talk, which scared the ex enough that she started making excuses to avoid family events. Nobody confronted Kay about it at the time. They just quietly stopped inviting her to certain things and let the relationship fade out around it. His sister said watching the same thing start happening again was what finally made her say something. I confronted my boyfriend with this last night. He did not deny it. He just said that was different and that he didn't think it was his place to bring up his ex's business. I asked him how it's different from what's happening to me right now, and he didn't have an answer. He just kept saying that he didn't want to be the one to throw Kay under the bus with the family. So now this isn't just about blocking one phone number anymore. It's that he has known the whole time Kay has a pattern and chose not to tell me. Am I the a-hole for telling him it's not just Kay that I have a problem with now? It's the fact that he let me walk into this blind. That's interesting because it sounds like Kay is causing more issues in the whole family, because if you don't want to start going around his family and stuff, then that affects their relationship with you. Interesting. Let's chat about it. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. See you tomorrow.